Bună dimineața și bun găsit la BU. Sunt Sabina Iosub și vă invit să rămâneți alături de mine în următoarea jumătate de oră. O să vedeți care este o nouă discuție aici la nivel european. Today, here with me in the European Parliament in Strasbourg is Deirdre Clune. Thank you so much for your presence.
Thank you.
I think it's important for the viewers to understand what is the new debate, what is the new discussion regarding the custom.
Oh yeah, well, customs, we have a very ambitious piece of legislation that we're dealing with at the moment, trying to establish one single customs authority for all of Europe. At the moment,
That's big.
That's big. It's a big challenge because if you think we have 27 member states and they all have their different authorities, which is good, but at the same time we don't have coordination across Europe. We have different ports, different entry requirements, different risk assessments by the different member states, so that can lead to maybe gaps in the system whereby those that wanted to import illegally or evade customs duties could actually use the weaker point. So we're trying to, one single customs authority, that would accommodate as well a data hub whereby everything that's coming into the European Union could be coordinated into one single point. I think that's important. So what this will do is it'll make it easier for customs officials in the member states because they can have access to this data. They can know if there's a ship coming into one of their ports. They can get more real-time information on it. They'll have actually more information and they can act and decide to investigate or not. So that's one point. It'll be easier for traders as well, and for those that are importing and exporting, because they'll only have one authority to deal with. They won't have to file their information in multiple times as they do at the moment along the supply chain and with various different types of IT systems that don't talk to one another. So that'll be important, and it's also, I think, at this time as well we can see we've got more and more legislation coming on with regards to maybe forced labour, product safety, forestation, that you can't use certain products. So customs is becoming more and more just not about fiscal, about monies for VAT or for duties. It's about standards as well. And we need to make sure that what's coming into the European Union doesn't undermine the single market and isn't a threat to European citizens.
How far away are we from that moment of implementing this single authority? Well, trying to be realistic now.
Trying to be realistic, the ambition or the stated objective of the Commission is by 2028, which is, well, I was going to say 5, it's now 4 years' time, that the data hub would be in place. And that's going to be an important first step, so that everything that's coming into the European Union and going export we'd have one single data hub area where all that information is collected. So that'll be important. Then by 2032, it's envisaged that it would be, an optional requirement to get involved in this in member states. 2038, which is quite a significant time away. I know that. I appreciate that, but that the full authority would be in place and operational. So by that point, there will be one single customs authority that will coordinate across the member states.
What do we have to do as member states till then?
Well, till then, number one, we prepare for the data hub, which is going to be up and running in 4 years' time. So that'll be important. And then, you'll get difference. Some member states feel that they're doing it very well, which they are, and they're very active. I was in the port of Rotterdam last week, which 37%, 40% of the goods coming into the European Union go through that port. So they're very active. Others aren't so busy. So for some, it'll be a case of they may not be willing to let go what they have, but others then it'll be a big benefit to them, because we're dealing with so much different legislation and changes now that it's important that they do have access to information other than what they have themselves. We're in the area of e-commerce now, the major platforms importing goods into the European Union, and it's becoming the number of items coming into the European Union is rising exponentially. So now platforms would have a responsibility for customs declarations themselves to make sure that the goods they're selling to you as a consumer comply with customs requirements. It's not and you as a consumer won't be getting a parcel in the post or that you've ordered online and they say, oh, you're responsible for that now, pay the customs duty, make the customs declaration. that'll be done by the platforms.
Do we have to do some investments also in the borders controls, in customs in general?
Well, there will be some IT configuration, but it's estimated in the Commission's impact assessment that there will actually be a saving to member states because they won't have to have the same level of IT infrastructure in place as things increase, as the level of trade increases, that they can benefit from the EU central body, the Customs Authority, and indeed the data hub.
Let's go in depth to the citizen. What are my benefits if you are changing this legislation?
Well, your benefits are, number one, that there's more oversight of what's coming into the European Union. So you can be confident that the product that you're buying complies with European standards as best we can now. I'm thinking of, like, we have 2 million items a day, they say, coming into the port of Rotterdam. So who's going to check? It's physically impossible to check every one of them. But there will be more risk assessment in place, better risk assessment, a better knowledge of where items are coming from and how they could or may not comply with legislation or could be dangerous to the consumer. So the information will be much better. So you can have that confidence that there's more of an oversight and that there isn't any weak links or any backdoor area whereby goods can come to you. So you can be confident that, you know, as a European citizen, and all the rules and regulations that we develop in this building here and across the European Union, that they are being implemented and that the goods that you buy are safer, because as it happens now, you know, lots of things do come in, particularly through platforms or through e-commerce business. One item, you purchase an item, are you sure that it's safe? Are you sure that the toy you buy doesn't have loose items that may be dangerous for children? Are you sure that the product you buy is using safe, if it's paint or if it's shampoo, even something like that? Are you sure that it's safe and meets European standards? You're not really. You need to. This will give more assurance, certainly, to European citizens.
On the other hand, will this help in another fight with dangerous goods like drugs?
Absolutely.
Or I don't know, everything that that comes here in this area.
Illegal products,
exactly.
Drugs, tobacco, cash, you know, firearms. Yes, it will definitely help in that, because there'd be much greater risk assessment. As the Commission would say, the Customs Authority now will have a 360-degree view. They'll know everything that's coming into the European Union. They know where it's coming from. They'll establish that risk assessment. So it'll be certainly the information that they will get through this data hub will enable them to be more focused and more targeted on what they check. So will be safer. And drugs, illegal import of drugs, when you think of the European Union, all the member states, all the different ports, small ports and coves that drugs can come in, so there's much more information. So the intention is to make it a more safe union, yeah.
Have you noticed any resistance to change?
No, not really. No. It's been very, very positive. I think the traders are good, welcoming the fact that it'll be simplified for them. The procedures will be simplified, so it'll be easier for them to trade. At the moment, it can be very laborious, dealing with various customs authorities and having to submit information numerous times. So that'll be very, very beneficial. Should cut costs then, and in turn that'll be cost for consumers. So I don't have any major opposition. I think here in the Parliament we have all the members seem to be very supportive of it and anxious that we would get it in place, because we see it as really benefiting the single market. I'm a member of the single market committee, as is Maria, and we want to protect that single market and not have it undermined. So this authority is certainly a way of enabling the proper functioning of that single market.
What is your message for those who are watching you right now?
My message is that if you're trading into or out of Europe, this authority is long overdue, really. It'll make one single authority, customs authority for Europe, instead of the 27 that we do have at the moment. It'll make it easier to do trade and internationally, certainly make it easier for consumers, and easier, but also they can be assured that the products that they're buying will be more safe.
Thank you, it was a pleasure.